What up, guys? It's your boy Sports Runs on Diesel here. I hope everyone enjoyed their July 4th week. But now we got to get back down to business, and we're going to be talking about the NBA free agency in the wildest first 6 hours, I think, in NBA history in terms of free agency. First off, starting off with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant going to Brooklyn. Now Brooklyn's going to be the team in New York. Brooklyn now is going to be the front runner in terms of the East but obviously we know Kevin Durant's going to be out for the 2020 season with that Achilles injury. He may be back late in the season. We'll see how the recovery process is, but he will be late. I mean, he will probably miss the entire 2020 season. But Brooklyn's going to be the clear front runners once Durant is healthy. I really do think Brooklyn is, they're the face of New York now. It's not the Knicks anymore. The Knicks, once again, very disappointed in their free agency picks and who they grabbed. And, they grabbed some of these pieces and stuff like that, but, why? You got to go after the big names, but no one wants to be in New York right now. They got a good player, their first draft pick, RJ Barrett. I thought the third overall pick, I think he's going to be a good player starting off in New York. I think he's a perfect fit in terms of his energy and his, him being able to withstand the New York media. We'll see what happens. But also, I mean, like I said, Brooklyn, face of New York, face of the East now, once Kevin Durant comes back and is healthy, even though majority of players who have a torn Achilles tend to not be the same player they once were. So it's all up in the air right now in terms of that. But also, you got, now that Kyrie's gone from Boston, Boston signs Kemba Walker, 4-year, $141 million deal, I believe. Then they also signed Enes Kanter to replace the Australian big man Aaron Baines. So the Celtics picking up a big name player as well. So and a big man who is very underrated in the rebounding game, probably the best offensive rebounder in the game behind Steven Adams of Oklahoma City. Also, we had Jimmy Butler go to Miami. My big thing with Jimmy Butler going to Miami, are they a playoff team now? No. If they kept Hassan Whiteside, they definitely would have been a playoff team. But now, they get rid of Hassan Whiteside. He's in Portland now. They did gain a couple of players from it. I mean, I got so many notes on this. It's not even funny. But they get Mo Harkless and Myers Leonard from the trade between them, between Hassan Whiteside and those two guys. So, I mean, Mo Harkless, Leonard had some bright spots in the playoffs last year, but, Miami is, I just don't think Miami is a playoff. If they are a playoff team, they may sneak in the 8th seed, but I don't think they're much of a playoff team. Jimmy Butler's going to have to really carry the load for this team. I know I think they lost Josh Richardson too. Josh Richardson's somewhere else now. So there's a lot of things going on. But also with Portland, you lose one of your best shooters in the league, Seth Curry. He's going to Dallas now, 4-year, $32 million deal. Seth Curry has been a career over 40% three-point shooter his whole career. And, he also had some bright moments in the playoffs last year, especially against Golden State and his brother Steph. A couple of key losses here for the Portland Trailblazers, but the Portland Trailblazers just got better now because now you got Lillard, you got McCollum, and then Lillard just signed that max deal. It was like 5 years, almost $200 million deal. Now that you got Lillard, you got McCollum. Nurkic is currently injured right now, their big man, but I do love them having Hassan Whiteside. And once Nurkic comes back, that team's going to be, you got the Twin Towers there, and Nurkic and Whiteside. And, now you got I still think they're the best duo in the league right now. And Lillard and McCollum, with the playoff run they had last year, unfortunately, a sour ending, getting swept by Golden State. But Portland made some great moves here in the offseason so far, and we'll see what is to come with Portland. Also, Clay gets his max deal, even though he tore his ACL and he's going to be out for the 2020 season. 5-year, $190 million max deal. And then they somehow, some way acquired D'Angelo Russell from Brooklyn. And I'm thinking to myself here, like, how is D'Angelo Russell gonna incorporate? How is he gonna fit in with this Golden State offense? D'Angelo Russell's not known as a point guard to pick up the tempo. He kind of methodically kind of lures you to sleep with his dribble, like James Harden, and then he pulls. He can pull up from mid range. He's really good at the three. Could get to the rim and finish. So I'm very intrigued to see how D'Angelo Russell is going to fit into this Golden State Warriors offense. So, only time will tell. I mean, they do need that. They do need a shooter. They do need another scorer on that team. Now that Klay Thompson's out, Kevin Durant, bye-bye to Brooklyn. They lose DeMarcus Cousins, who's going to be going to the Lakers. And it's crazy what has happened in the first 6 hours of the free agency. A free agency on Sunday is just like how wild and chaotic, and I don't even know how to even describe it sometimes. It's just a very chaotic first 6 hours of free agency. We also have Wesley Matthews going to Milwaukee now. Career 38% three-point shooter. I believe he is going to be the person that is going to be replacing Malcolm Brogdon. Wesley Matthews known for his defense and three-point shooting ability, obviously, like I just said. So Malcolm Brogdon's going to the Indiana Pacers, which I found to be a kind of a shocker because Milwaukee has kept majority of their pieces. They re-signed Chris Middleton. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember exactly what the deal was with Chris Middleton, but he signed a big deal. Also, moving on, Isaiah Thomas going to the Washington Wizards. I don't know how. I would assume John Wall is going to be back for the beginning of for the 2020 season. Is IT going to be that player that comes off the bench? They only signed IT to a 1-year deal, but it's kind of sad to watch Isaiah Thomas, a player who was in Boston about 4 years ago and was putting up almost 30 points a game, was like top 5 in scoring in the league that season, was a top 5 MVP candidate. And to see him get that hip injury and now is like back to being like this no-name bench player guy who just switches teams halfway through the season, and it's just like I feel bad for him because to be nearly on top of the world one season, to practically lead the league in fourth quarter scoring, to now being a player who's just getting tossed around like a hacky sack. I feel bad. But also another big thing for Philadelphia. Philadelphia is another big story. They signed Ben Simmons to that max deal, 5 years, $170 million. And then they happened to acquire Boston's Al Horford. And I like, everyone, there was all this speculation about Horford leaving as well. And here we go, Horford's gone. They signed him to, I think it was like a 4-year deal, over $100 million easily with the 76ers. And now Philadelphia is now looking to be the front runner now, even though Philadelphia did lose J.J. Redick, one of the best three-point shooters in the league right now. They lose him, but Philadelphia is a front runner in the Eastern Conference along with Milwaukee. So the East is now all of a sudden now weak again because now there's and with the East being weak, and I'm going to backtrack here a little bit. Now with the East being weak and Kawhi Leonard's gone to go back out West, I do think Miami could, like I said, Miami could be a playoff team. They probably will end up being a playoff team because the East is so weak. Charlotte loses Kemba Walker to Boston, so Charlotte could dip out of the playoff situation. They really haven't made many moves in terms of picking up a key players in the offseason. So Miami is probably going to end up being a playoff team. At first, when I first thought about it, I didn't think they were going to be because you lose Hassan Whiteside. But they might be. Jimmy Butler is known to put a team on his back and bring them to the playoffs. So, but like I said, only time will tell. I mean, like I said, I got so many notes on NBA free agency. It's unreal. Like I said, Brooke Lopez, Chris Middleton are going to be staying in Milwaukee, which is huge. Brooke Lopez, 4-year, $52 million deal. Middleton, 5-year, $178 million extension. And Milwaukee is going to be, like I said, Milwaukee is going to be the team to be in the East. I think we will see Milwaukee in the finals next year. That's my prediction, is Milwaukee will be in the finals next year unless, some team gives them a big run for their money. And the only team that's going to, like I just said, the only real team that's going to give them a run for their money is, who's I just talking about? My goodness. Philadelphia, the 76ers. They're going to be really the only team that's going to be giving Milwaukee a run for the money. It'll probably be Philly and Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals next season. And there will be high stakes going into that series and who will possibly end up going to the finals. Like I said, Boogie Cousins went to the Lakers. They also acquired Danny Green, 2-year, $30 million deal. So now that Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green friendship is gone now they're competing in the same arena in Staples Center in LA. And the Clipper and Laker games, those are going to be, I hope they televise all those games because those are going to be some of the best games of the season next year. But, you got LeBron and AD, and then you got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George on the other side for the Clippers. I am excited. Also, the Clippers re-signed Patrick Beverley, too, as well. So Patrick Beverley, one of the biggest nuisance defensively. I think he's Lance Stevenson to another degree. We all know Lance Stevenson for the blowing in the ear of LeBron James, but Patrick Beverley is so known for getting under the skin of players and players like Russell Westbrook and some of these guys, they take it personally and they shouldn't take it personally. It's just who Patrick Beverley is. That's what he does. He is such a menace on defense. He creates turnovers. He does everything right on the defensive end. And, good for the Clippers to re-sign Patrick Beverley. And they still have Lou Williams. The best sixth man, I think, of all time. I don't think anyone is going to argue with that. Jamal Crawford has had fantastic seasons as the sixth man, but Lou Williams, he has scored over 12,000 points off the bench, most all time in NBA history off the bench. So they still got Lou Williams, and I really do like the Clippers' chances of going to the finals. But I'm going to keep saying again, we will see what happens. Honestly, who's going to win the West now? No one knows who's going to win the West now. You get the Lakers, you got the Clippers, you got Denver. They just re-signed Jamal Murray. It was like a 5-year extension for like $180 million. And then, Denver's got Michael Porter Jr. that's possibly coming back this year. They just drafted Bol, which I believe is the most underrated pick in the draft. I can't wait to see it. But also Dallas is in the mix too. I think they're going to be a playoff team next year. Chris Knapp, Porzingis, the unicorn is coming back. 5-year, $158 million deal that he re-signed with Dallas. Like I said, Brogdon is going to Indiana, 4-year, $85 million. Bojan Bogdanovic is going to Utah. Utah is going to be a playoff team. They got Mike Conley Jr. From the Memphis Grizzlies. So I love Utah. I think Utah is going to be a tough team. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs next year. We already talked about Damian Lillard's max deal and Andre Iguodala going to Memphis. One of the biggest key components. Obviously, we know him as the 2015 NBA Finals MVP. against against the Cleveland there, the first time Golden State and Cleveland played. Andre Iguodala is going to Memphis. He's out of Golden State. And Golden State is going to be a team next year that we're going to have to keep an eye on. I think they're going to be a team that is going to be a lower seed playoff team if they do make the playoffs. But the thing is with the West is it's like teams need to have at least a minimum of 45 wins to make the playoffs. I remember a few years ago, like when those Phoenix teams were really good. Phoenix had like 48 wins or something like that, and they didn't even make the playoffs. So it's a big. The West is so stacked right now. It's so tight, But right now it's looking like L.A. Clippers and Lakers up at the top. Denver's gonna be up there. Portland's going to be up there. I don't know what's going to go on with Oklahoma City. Russell Westbrook might leave Oklahoma City now, And honestly, to be real with Damian Lillard, I 100% agree with Damian Lillard. I love what he said about, staying with one team. I love his mentality of staying with one team and trying to win it with that one team instead of trying to team up. He respects guys teaming up and trying to win a title, but to, disappoint your hometown fans to go please other fans, I totally understand where Damian Lillard's coming from, and I completely agree with him. I don't like the whole super team thing, but, it's today's NBA, and that's how it is right now. So, but, that is all I have for you today. Please comment. Please subscribe to me on YouTube. Please smash that like button on Facebook. I want to thank you guys for your time and enjoy the rest of the day.